In this digital day and age, keeping a tight lid on a major project is one of the most difficult things to do. The gaming industry in particular commonly plays host to some major leaks about upcoming new projects or about the development history of said projects. Now, it goes without saying that among the most anticipated titles in the last few years was Red Dead Redemption 2, and if you followed news of that game, then you'll know that there were a few major leaks for it here and there. Among the biggest leaks was this article from February 6, 2018 by British website Trusted Reviews, which not only provided proof of the leak's validity, but looking back now, the article did feature accurate information about the final release. The headline alone noted that the game would feature a first-person mode, which we know now to be true, and it also hinted at a Battle Royale mode for Red Dead Online, which is also likely true and not at all difficult to believe. According to Trusted Reviews' article, they had received documents as far back as August 2017, but decided not to share them, feeling the information was unsubstantiated. But months later, after the documents were validated through Red Dead Redemption 2's promotional material, they felt comfortable enough to publish this article. As proof of the leak's validity, the article highlighted never-seen-before screenshots featuring characters like Arthur Morgan and Dutch van der Linde. From there, the article began detailing all the information that these documents revealed, starting with how Red Dead Online will at least feature 3 competitive modes, named Battle Royale, Revive and Survive, and Money Grab. Battle Royale is, well, Battle Royale. Revive and Survive is something akin to Team Deathmatch, in which members of the same team can revive each other, and Money Grab involves 2 teams fighting to obtain bags of money in a central location and returning them to base. Moving on, the article discussed how Red Dead Online will allow players to fully explore the open world, one that will provide far more depth than previous Rockstar games, with features like NPCs who will pack things away and close down their stores at night, how players will be rewarded for completing tasks like traveling a certain distance or killing enemies with certain weapons at a certain distance, how an apartment-like system will return in the form of upgradable tents which come in a variety of themes, how online play will feature shops and NPCs that provide players with equipment and missions, and how the game will play host to spontaneous free events with activities ranging from treasure hunts to death matches. Then the article noted how Red Dead Redemption 2 would launch with a companion app, which we know now to be true, how activities players can partake in the world include gold mining, fishing, herding, and weapon challenges, how NPCs populating the map include general store owners, gunsmiths, and undertakers, how gambling minigames would make a return, how slum markets would allow players to procure equipment at a reduced price, and how NPCs would navigate the world in accordance to their schedule and the day and night cycle. Furthermore, there are specific details here of the game's various vehicles, of challenges that can be completed, of plants and herbs that can be collected for crafting, of the game's fishing minigame, of the game's first-person camera mode, of the return of the Deadeye targeting mechanic, of a dynamic campaign in which character interactions and choices may affect the outcome of certain events and dialogue, of the wanted and crime system, and of the ability to speak to any NPC to greet them, threaten them, or rob them. So yeah, suffice to say that as far as leaks go, this one from Trusted Reviews is one of the bigger and more legitimate ones. It should come as no surprise that Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive weren't happy that the news outlet divulged this information, even if the website did refrain from spoiling any campaign story details, mostly discussing gameplay features instead. In fact, the publisher in particular was upset enough that they seem to have threatened Trusted Reviews with something, as the outlet all of a sudden decided to delete the article and replace it with the following statement. On February 6, 2018, we published an article that was sourced from a confidential corporate document. We should have known this information was confidential and should not have published it. We unreservedly apologize to Take-Two Games, and we have undertaken not to repeat such actions again. We have also agreed to donate over £1 million to charities chosen by Take-Two Games. £1 million, by the way, roughly translates to around $1.3 million. The details surrounding what suddenly instigated this retreat remains a complete mystery. But this right here might be setting a dangerous precedent for games journalism. It is one thing if Trusted Reviews signed some kind of NDA contract, or if they directly obtained the documents they leaked directly from Rockstar under the stipulation that they would not divulge the contents. That, however, seems doubtful, as Trusted Reviews expressed in their article that when they acquired these documents back in August 2017, they weren't even sure they were real and were apprehensive about publishing its contents due to a lack of corroboration. Assuming that they were being truthful about that, this could only mean that the outlet received the documents from a source, in which case Rockstar or Take-Two would have no legal grounds to punish the website. Unless Trusted Reviews did something illegal to obtain the documents, they would have grounds to publish the documents' contents without any repercussions. Again, the details are largely unknown, so perhaps there's something more going on here than meets the eye, but it doesn't help that both Trusted Reviews and Take-Two are being mum about the circumstances surrounding this recent development. Take-Two did, however, respond to the apology statement provided by Trusted Reviews, stating the following: Take-Two takes security seriously and will take legal action against people or publications who leak confidential information. Because this situation involved information about Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games directed the settlement funds to these three great charities: the American Indian College Fund, the American Prairie Reserve, and the First Nations Development Institute. Whether the publisher can actually take legal action against the press would again depend on how the media outlet came about the confidential information. As previously mentioned, if there was a contract involved, or if provable illegal actions took place in the acquisition of said information, then there would be grounds for penalization. But strangely, Take-Two doesn't detail how Trusted Reviews might have breached any laws and how the publisher might be justified in their threats, which makes this matter all the more suspicious. There was no suggestion of any contracts being violated or any illegal actions having taken place. Not liking the nature of leaked information isn't grounds to take down articles or forcefully cajole payment. Game companies can, of course, decide to blacklist journalists from being invited to their events or from receiving review copies moving forward, but it's a whole other thing to have a website shut down an article, force it to apologize, and then have them shell out a whopping $1.3 million for simply reporting on information, which is what they're supposed to do. Not to mention that there have been far larger leaks in the gaming industry, and even those instances yielded less severe outcomes. There was that one time, for example, when Kotaku leaked an early casting call Fallout 4 script that editor Jason Schreier had obtained from one of his sources years before the game was even announced. It not only revealed the default appearance of the game's main protagonist, the sole survivor, it also confirmed that the game would take place in the Commonwealth and that one of the game's factions would be the Minutemen, and that one of its members was Preston Garvey, among many other things. Fast forward to today, 5 years after the article's release, and it's still up there, whether Bethesda likes it or not, and the company would have no grounds to take this article down or sue Kotaku, as there is no provable evidence that any contracts were breached or that any illegal actions took place. Kotaku has since been blacklisted by Bethesda from review copies and such, which is fair and well within the company's rights, but the outlet hasn't been threatened with legal action or demands or anything of the sort as far as we know. Same thing goes for all the articles Jason has published about the troubled development histories of various games, whether we're talking about Destiny or Mass Effect Andromeda, or the numerous articles detailing Rockstar's prominent culture of crunch based on a wide variety of testimonials. By all accounts, the information presented in these articles are confidential and aren't things respective studios or companies would like to see exposed, but journalists aren't supposed to be in service of companies, they're supposed to be in service of the general public, the good ones at least. That's why freedom of the press exists, and that's why there is rarely an occasion in which articles presenting leaked content are ever shut down or legally threatened. It's why, given the information we know now, what Take-Two has done here by taking down Trusted Reviews' article is so unprecedented and sets a dangerous precedent for games journalism as a whole. Jason Schreier put it succinctly when responding to a comment on the article he published on this whole ordeal. He said, quote, "There's an important distinction to be made here between a leaker and a journalist. When someone leaks a document to the journalist, it is entirely the journalist's prerogative whether or not they want to report on that. They have not signed any NDAs and have no obligation to protect the company's secrets. In fact, a journalist who sees their obligation as to the game publisher rather than to their readers is a very, very bad journalist, one who probably should look for a new job. And while video games may not be government secrets, there are certainly cases when it services a public good to report on information that publishers don't want out yet. And I don't know if this is necessarily one of those cases, but it does set a scary precedent for press freedom. That said, we don't know what happened in this scenario. Did Trusted Reviews get the document through illegal means, which is part of what makes it so strange. So yeah, it would be prudent to hold judgment until all details are made known, but it is worth being wary of the different angles of this story. Either Trusted Reviews did something illegal, or they were threatened by Take-Two without grounds. Or perhaps Trusted Reviews yielded after Take-Two iterated that they would not be providing any review copies to the outlet or inviting them to events moving forward if the article wasn't taken down. Now, there is one comment in the Kotaku article that claims to be someone who used to work at Trusted Reviews, having left several months after the article in question was published, and they said, quote, "I don't have intimate knowledge of why TI Media, which owns Trusted Reviews, chose to settle the case, but I know no laws were broken obtaining the documents. To my knowledge, they were emailed anonymously to a member of staff." For now, not one side has officially given any specific details, so all we can do for now is wait and see what happens until we find out more. All I'll say until then is that the prospect of normalizing a major corporation going after the press for disliking the nature of one of their articles is scary indeed, and currently Trusted Reviews doesn't seem to have done anything wrongful besides pissing off corporate heads to warrant having the article taken down. So Take-Two would be wise to provide a proper justification, if they even have any, sooner rather than later before speculation gets out of hand and the public begins to assume the worst. In the meantime, I'd love to hear what your take is on this situation in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content and would like to support this channel directly, consider donating on Patreon. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out!